Good morning, everyone. This is Amit Varkad with US Impact, US Indo-American Political Action Committee of Texas. Today we have with us Sai Krishna. He is running for Frisco City Council Place 6. We will be doing a set of questions and answer sessions with him. So we'll get started. First and foremost, Sai, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the audiences, give your background and talk a little bit more about yourself.
Good morning, Amit and Badri. Thanks for having me here. I'm very humbled to be here today this morning, Saturday morning. I'm running for Frisco City Council Place 6, and I'm a registered nurse. Came to United States in 2003, and I went to school here, my undergraduate, my nursing school, and as well as my master's in business administration. Everything from 2003 to 2010, and after that I started working at a hospital setting in a various specialties, and also explore from home health and the nursing homes. And in 2011 I did join my Cigna in 2011, and then that's where I learned to be a more customer-centric and educating people regarding health conditions and managing their health conditions. And in 2017, it joined BCBS, and I was a high-cost case management. That's where my hands were tied when I was able to help my clients. All my cases were above 500,000, and insurance used to pay for the hospital setting, but they never paid for the patient's transportation to get the treatment. So with that keeping in mind, I started my own transportation for the chemo patients, free transportation for chemo patients for Frisco residents. I'm running that with my foundation, and as well as this is a pilot running. And if we are success, and if the people accept us, if we see success in that area, we are going to extend that to other neighboring cities as well.
So, Sai, given this background, thank you for that. What would be your top 5 priorities for City of Frisco, and how do you plan to accomplish them? So, any views on that?
Yeah, my top priorities are economic growth. Without money, we cannot do anything. And with economic growth, I'm more passionate about bringing more small business, and as well as women empowerment and youth empowerment, because the small business is the backbone for the city. So I'm very passionate about bringing that, conducting a lot of workshops for the women and the youth to come up with the new businesses, and especially encouraging the locals, like a Frisco city residents, to be more, business entrepreneurship.
The next question would be around the business scenario in Frisco. I mean, we've seen an unprecedented growth for the city of Frisco in the past 10 years. We've attracted a lot of small businesses, large businesses. What is your view about the small and medium businesses? How do you make the ecosystem conducive enough for them to thrive and grow further, and thereby adding more value to the Frisco economy?
See, I want our revenue to be generated within the Frisco. It's not a bad idea to bring up corporations to here. At the same time, you have to be prepared. It is kind of like now 75% residents and 25% of the business. So in that view, in that perspective, I'm looking at it to encourage more local entrepreneurs to become a local entrepreneurs to generate the more revenue for the city.
Okay. Now, with the growth of Frisco, the next question comes in is around the apartments. There's a lot of talk going around high-density apartments and cost of living on the rise in the city of Frisco. So, any views around that in terms of high-density apartments and all of that?
Okay, that's a great question. We all know that. Brinkman Ranch has been zoned as a residential area, and it has been in the 1980s. So there is not much city can do it. City is doing a good in negotiating with bringing them 2,500 apartments and asking land to develop 63 acres for local amenities and parks, and as well as this Hillcrest Road. But see, the zoning, we need to all understand that the zoning has happened back in 1980s, and that's a basic, that's creating an issue now. That's why we all people, the residents of Frisco need to come to the town hall meeting. I want to encourage them. That's the main goal. I want to take city to their to the residents' door. The reason why, because everybody is engaged. By the time they come home, it's going to be like with this traffic. By the time they reach home, it's going to be 7 o'clock, and this town hall meeting starts at 6:30, and that's where impacting. A lot of people couldn't come to the town hall meeting. So my big agenda is to take them to the city, to their doors.
With the rise in apartments and living, single family houses and all of that, bringing in more people to the city, it also, leads to increase in the traffic. And we've seen that over the past few years. What is your view of what the city should do in terms of managing the traffic? And how do we address this question of high traffic?
See, there are several things. I mean, innovative ideas has been going on, and Uber Lyft is coming to this Frisco city, and they are they are going to be the first one, and we are going to be the first one in the nation for the Uber Lyft. And as mayor I was talking to the mayor the other day, and the mayor was explaining that once the Uber Lyft is going to be in the Frisco city, it takes only 6 to 7 minutes to reach the airport from Frisco, and it only costs 60 cents per mile. So they're working on that, innovative ideas to reduce this traffic. But right now, I think we still have to take some, the traffic issue seriously and see what we can do. And I was thinking at the schools zones, I think we need to build some like a skywalk to cross across the school, so the traffic can be keep the same flow. There won't be any slow traffic at the school. We can avoid that by building a skywalk at the school zones.
The next question is around the safety aspect. So, what is your view on how do we make Frisco more safer, and specifically dwelling upon the school safety part of it?
See, my passion is like, I was just always thinking, right now we have a 1.4 police personnel for every 1,000 residents in Frisco, which is very less. And I want to increase that number, and as well as with every school, like right now the one police officer is taking care of 3 schools, which is not right. We want every school to have a police officer to cover, to protect our kids and as well the safety issues.
Where do you see Frisco City from 3 years from today?
I think from today, in next 3 years, I think the traffic is going to go down with Uber Lyft, and as well as we are going to have a very good revenue generated in Frisco. And I'm planning. My another idea is to bring a mobile library. We want to avoid traffic on the road. Like, parents get an extra few hours. I want to give them back by creating a mobile library, so they can order the books and DVDs, whatever they want to order from library. And the mobile van is going to take to the nearest, closest to the locations, and people can go there and grab their request, and as well as they return their things back to the library.
And any views on how city is tackling the current situation related to coronavirus?
Okay, that's a big thing. Being a nurse, being in Pittsburgh, we did have a medical reserve corps in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So I want to bring that medical reserve corps to be prepared, ready with the healthcare, nurses, doctors, all volunteers, and vaccination, like conducting a mass vaccination throughout the city to prevent any moving forward any conditions like situations like this.
Any final words for the audiences?
See, we need a change. I want to bring the city to your doors, and I'm very honest. My name itself says Sai. Sai means, since S stands for sincerity, A stands for accountability, and I stands for integrity. And I'm going to bring a change. Change is inevitable. We need to accept the change and keep moving forward. And I'm the only person. You can see my telephone number on my van, that you can reach me at any point of time if you need any help from the city, and I'm always available. And it only takes 15 to 30 minutes within the Frisco city to reach you, and you call me, I'll be there. It is my word, and I'm going to bring the city to your door. Please vote Sai Krishna for place 6.
Thank you, Sai. That was great talking to you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Sai, S-A-I, for Frisco City Council place 6. Thank you so much.